Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a great morning so far. It's the beautiful day at the end of the week. Here in Connecticut, we're expecting some big thunderstorms later today, so I thought maybe I'd get my day off started early and do a little chalking. And I am planning to do some inking later on today, and we have come out with some really awesome canvas surfaces this season, including a bag, a small clutch, and even some beautiful hanging banners, which if you've caught one of my earlier lives, you might have seen me do. And lately I've been hearing a little bit about how you can use both our chalks and our inks on those canvas surfaces. And so I thought I'd come to you today and try it out. Let's try both and see which ones seem like they make the most sense. Now, just a couple things probably worthwhile to know. There are some pros and cons to using ink and or chalk on canvas. And so let's talk a little bit about those first so that you can make some determinations about what seems to make the most sense for you. So when you use our chalk, you probably have heard me talk about before, it can go on our adhesive transfers, and it goes on wet and it dries hard, but it is a semi-permanent finish. In other words, if it does get wet and you have trying to wash it, then it's going to go away. However, if you use our inks, hey Janice, nice to have you here. If you use our inks and you heat set the ink after you have finished with your project, either by pressing it with an iron, or if it's a ceramic product or glass or something and you put it in the oven, then it will be heat set and it will be permanent. So not semi-permanent like our paste, but permanent ink. So if you are working on a project that you expect is going to get dirty, like a pillowcase or something like that, inks might be better. But the hanging banner, or maybe even a bag like our clutch or our shoulder tote, might be perfectly fine with chalk. So those are really the pros and the cons between the two. With ink, it goes on really nicely. It uses the same silkscreen transfers. It's a little bit thinner than many of our pastes, and so you just need a little light touch putting it on. Really easy to use. You pull off the transfer just like you do with our chalks, but you do need to heat set it in order for it to be permanent. So that's an extra step, something to think about. If you use chalk on canvas, the pros are no heat setting. You don't have to worry about that, but the con is you aren't really going to be able to wash it. So those are the things to kind of think about. Now, I figured it might be fun just to kind of see the difference on what chalk looks like on a bag and what ink looks like on a bag, and see if we can see any differences or we like one better than the other. So I have found some little bags here. I had a bunch that I bought for another surface, another activity that I was doing, so I thought this would be a fun thing to try it out on. So this isn't one of the ones that you can get from Couture. We do have, like I said, a great selection of other items, but for this demonstration I just wanted to use something I had around the house. So I'm going to go ahead and move our camera here down so you can see my project and what I'm working on, and we'll get started. So I have two transfers here. If you're wondering why my transfers look a little funny, it's because actually when I've used my transfers, instead of putting them back on the transfer sheet that we get with our transfers, I have so many transfers it makes it easier for me to put them in an artist portfolio book. And the artist portfolio books have these plastic sheets, so they're very much like the backer sheets, and it allows me to store my adhesive transfers on them. So they're two-sided, so I have two different ones that we're going to play with here today. I thought this Life is a Beautiful Ride one would be perfect on this bag. So I just wanted this to be quick and simple, so we're going to go ahead and just jump in and get started. And as you can see, it makes a lot of noise, but you just place your transfer down where you want it to go. Maybe I'll bring it a little bit farther down because I think it might be fun to put on one of the little umbrella hot air balloon here guys that we have. So it's always interesting looking at things upside down. I'm sure for you as well. So there we go. So we just want to make sure we've pressed it down pretty well so that there is good adhesion. And it looks like I have a little bump or something. Ah, there we go. Let me get that off. That was actually just something on the back of my transfer that I had, or maybe something on the bag. And it looks pretty good. It's pretty much on there. So let's start first with the inks, because like I said, the inks are really fun, easy to use, and we can illustrate what it looks like once we have put on the ink. So I'm loving this new coral that we came out with in the ink. So let's use that for our Life is a Beautiful Ride. All right, awesome. Let's see. Need a little stir here. And one thing I always find is it's handy to have a little Clorox disinfectant wipe nearby in case you get stuff on your fingers or you need to put something down. So paper towels are also really great to have on hand too when you're working. And I'm just going to take one of our squeegees here. This is our small squeegee, and this actually doesn't really need too much stirring here. That's one of the nice things about the ink, also really easy to use. But that looks pretty good. And dip my squeegee in here. I notice I'm kind of tapping it a little bit down because we don't need a very heavy touch when we're using our inks. As a matter of fact, we kind of want to go a little bit on the lighter side, and that's just so that we don't get any unintentional bleed behind the back. Now, what's also really fun with our inks and our chalks is that once we pull up the transfer and the surface is still a little wet, if you wanted, you can add a little sparkle by putting some fine glitter on here. So if you'd like, we can take a look at that option as well as we're playing. So anybody got any great plans for the weekend? Hope you're getting some time with your family and friends and you get to relax a little. Summer is drawing to an end and we're starting to think about fall and back to school. It's hard to believe that it is almost time. That's it. That's all we need to do was just let's make sure we got that top of that F. So take a quick and then just rub off any extra. Put it back in your jar if you need to. And I'm going to grab my glitter. I think since we're using pink, we should get some pink glitter. So I got some here. And then we're just going to pull this up. And voila. Life is a beautiful ride. Perfect, perfect. And if we put a little bit of glitter on here, while it's still wet, it'll give this bag a nice little sparkle too. If you have a garbage nearby, which I do, take a little extra off, and there it is. Now, when that dries a little bit more, I'll give it a little extra tap here to get rid of that extra. All right, so let's put on our little hot air balloon here. Now, actually this weekend, or actually next weekend, I get the great privilege of heading to our local hot air balloon festival where I'll actually have a booth, and so I'll bet you these little bags will be pretty popular. It'll be fun to have them out and let people purchase them if they'd like. They'd also be really cute. These little bags would be really cute for teacher gifts, back to school welcome. Also be really cute for like a little Halloween goodie bag. Lots you can do with these little bags. Stuff them with some candy for Halloween. And that's it. So this is using, again, our inks. And we're going to pull up this guy. When we're done, you just want to put your transfer into a water bath until you can get to it to clean it off. But this is going to be pretty quick, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. And if we wanted to add a little glitter onto this guy too, we could. Why not? And we're feeling pink, so why not add a little pink to our, oops. And then my top doesn't want to come off now. I must have put it on there just a little too hard. Here we go. Whoop. A little more than I intended, but that's all right. Glitter is always fun, isn't it? So we'll just put a little on there. And we'll just give that a really nice shake, and there you go. That's what it looks like using our inks. So now that we've used the ink, let's see what it looks like using our paste. And for this one, I'm going to use our Happy Birthday transfer, because this is another cute one too that you can get from us. So in this case, we're going to use our beautiful new Wild Berry paste, and maybe this aquamarine together. What do you think for our Happy Birthday? So again, I'm just going to pull off the transfer that we're using. I'm going to move my inks over here off to the side so I don't inadvertently stick my hand in them. And then we'll place our Happy Birthday right here in the center. Now you can make this as a Happy Birthday cupcake. I am just going to do it as a Happy Birthday sign here. So cute little bag to give for a gift, and put a little cute thing inside it, maybe something you've made or something you've purchased. All right, so we've got our berry, Wild Berry. I love this color. Now notice when I open it, it's looking a little bit like it could use some stirring. So just grab our multi-tool or our stir stick, whatever you have handy, and give this a nice stir. If it feels a little thick, you can definitely just give it a squirt or two of water. I always like to have a little water bottle nearby. Sometimes when I've opened it and used it a few times and then it sits for a little bit till I use it again, it gets a little thicker than I like. I like my chalk paste to be kind of like yogurt consistency. So that's a good gear. All right, so let's see how this goes on our canvas surface. All right, I'm going to turn this around here so you can see what I'm doing. And we're just going to take our chalk and we're going to pull the chalk across the transfer just like we did with our ink. Now our transfers can be used with both chalk and ink, as you probably have realized, and you can reuse our transfers over and over again. So that's why, as you saw, that I had my transfer stored here in my artist portfolio book, because it makes it easier for me to just pull them up and store them. Here we go. Wipe off the excess. And that looks pretty good, pretty simple. And then same thing, peel and reveal. Look at that. Just as beautiful as our inks, I think. And this definitely needs some fun. Here we go. Just give this a little tap. Tap, 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 tap. And there we go. What do you think, guys? Now we could also certainly add a cheers or a celebrate on top of this if we wanted. This is another transfer set that we have. They come all together in one, so that would be kind of fun to add here too. But just so that you get a sense, these are, let me just give this one another little tap here so you can see. And here they are. This is the chalk. This is the ink. So pretty much similar. Oh, here we go. Try to put them side by side so you can see them. Both are going to work just perfectly well on canvas, so you can choose whichever one makes sense for you. And if you do want it to be permanent and washable, though, definitely go with the inks. That's this guy. If you're just going to be using it in a bag like this and you're not too worried about needing it to be washed, then our chalk's going to work just fine for that. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of an idea of the differences between using chalk and ink. Hope that you have found this to be helpful, to be thinking through what you should use when you're working in canvas. Paula, oh, nice to have you here. Thanks for joining me early this morning. Hope you're having a great Friday and enjoy your day and your weekend. Guys, have a wonderful time. If you want to learn more about Chalk Couture, like me to add you to my VIP group, just go ahead and type in join. Paula, I know, I love that balloon. Isn't that awesome? So in the comments, just type in join. If you are interested in learning more about what it is that I do and how you can become a Chalk Couture designer and do all these fun things with me, let me know. I'd be happy to share that with you too. In the meantime, everybody have a great day, and thanks so much for joining me so early this morning. Take care, everyone. Bye.